Hello guys, welcome to G's art classes. Today we're going to continue painting some flower to finish up the painting. I started with this big flower the last week. I'm going to try to make some flowers done around this main flower. Then I'm going to show you how to do some blurry effect for the flowers that are in the background. Okay, so I'm going to use the same brush of like the size of 10 and 12, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use it, but I'm going to have the number 6 ready, right? So I'm going to start with the lighter color on the top. So I'm going to use a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of burnt sienna mixed up, and I dabbed a little bit on the paper towel. Start with a little bit of the dot over here, right? I'm going to mix a little bit of water, add a little bit of water to that, and then dab in the paper towel. Again, scrubbing, right? And then we're going to add a little more burnt sienna to the colors that you made already, and move on to the side, right? Then I'm going to use some of the darker color, which is the Van Dyke brown. Mix a little bit of green to that to indicate that this goes in. Then I'm going to mix a little bit of blue to that color. So if make it even more dull. And then I'm going to like scoop some colors out, lift some colors out. I'm going to add a little bit of brown color to the colors that you mixed, and then make some dots over there. Okay, then I'm going to use that color a little bit over here too, right? And then I'm going to use a little bit of water, add it up, and then I'm going to use a little bit of orange color, add it to the yellow ochre color that I used before. Okay, little dots. Then I'm going to use some of the green color, add it up to that color, and bring it over here. I'm going to wash the brush, bring only the burnt sienna color to that flower. I mean the middle of the flower. Add that color. See that? Right? And then I'm going to use Van Dyke brown. Right? And then I'm going to wash my brush, dab into the paper towel, use the little bit of that dirty color that you used, right? And then I'm going to make a very light color that makes that flower, the part of that flower goes back in to the background, like to the further, right? And then I'm going to use ultramarine blue, mix into Van Dyke brown, and make some darker dots over here. Okay, over here too. I'm going to use some of the parts over here too, right? All right. And then I use more of the Van Dyke brown. I'm sorry, ultramarine blue. And then mix Van Dyke brown into that color. So indicate that this is darker over here, and a little bit of that dot, right? And then I'm going to use just permanent yellow. Start with permanent yellow color, and then bring it up. I'm going to mix a little bit of cadmium yellow dip color into the yellow you used, and then you also bring that up like this. So you start with, I'll show you again. You start with tip of the brush, you press it down, lift it up. Okay, and then I'm gonna mix a little bit of that burnt sienna color on the tip of my brush. Okay, and then bring that color out. I'm gonna use a little bit of burnt sienna color to add onto the edge of that circle. Okay, and then I'm going to use that cadmium yellow dip color. Press, lift it up. Press, lift it up. And then on the edge of the flower, I mixed a little bit of that yellow color that I used before, and trying to mix that, leave some highlights for the petals. Okay. Then bring it down. See, so the color changes, and then I'll use a little bit of light green mix into that cadmium yellow dip color, and then use some other parts, and then I'm going to mix a little bit of brown color, and then change the direction of the brush, then mix a little bit of that burnt sienna and use up over here. I'm going to go back to use permanent yellow, and then finish it up. And then I'm going to mix a little bit of that Van Dyke brown into the yellow colors that I used, and then try to depict the petals underneath of the flower. I mean the other front petals. Right? And then what I'm gonna do, use some green color, and then put it down to, you know, start like indicating some of the stamps so that you don't forget. So I'm gonna make a little bit of highlights. Again, if you can't remember how to do the highlights, just, you know, sketch it before you start. And then I'm gonna mix a little bit of olive green and to the edge of that color that you use, and I'm gonna mix viridian color, which is like dark, you know, cold green color, and I'm gonna add up to here. I'm gonna mix brown color, any brown color, mix into that green, mix it more, you know, warm and olive green color, and then I'm gonna bring it down. I'm gonna mix ultramarine blue into that color to make it even darker, and then put it down, right? And then I'm gonna wash my brush, dab it into the paper towel. Only use the tip of the brush to bring some colors that I used earlier for that stem. And then bring it down to finish it up. See that? Right? And then I'm going to water. So you see like how you want to give some distance between that and that, right? That flower. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the tip, the circle, the middle circle, you know, the center of that flower first. So what I just did, I mixed the yellow color into that burnt sienna color. So I'm doing the same thing over here, leaving some highlights, right? And I'm gonna mix a little bit of yellow, highlight, scrubbing. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wash my brush, dip it into the paper towel. You sort of like fill the circle, okay? And then now I'm going to add some colors. So I'm going to use some of the burnt sienna color to that. It makes a dot still. Right? And then you're going to mix some of that Van Dyke brown color. Still make the dots. dots. And then I'm gonna mix a little bit of that green color you used before. Okay. And make the dots over there too, right? And then inside the circle too. Okay. And then I use even more green color to come down over here to make some significant dark color so that it goes, you know, behind that stamp. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mix some ultramarine blue color. You see how important ultramarine blue color does in any type of paintings that you do to make it more like as a nice gray color that doesn't dull the colors too much, but you can still darken some parts naturally. Especially with brown color, it works really well. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wash my brush, dip into the paper towel. I'm gonna actually lift some colors out by scrubbing over there and here. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm going to mix some cadmium yellow dip color. And then still finish the leaf part, right? And then you're gonna mix some of that dirty color as well, right? I'm gonna wash my brush, dip, and then I'm gonna use cadmium yellow dip color again, right? And then I'm gonna mix a little bit of burnt sienna. Going to use some of the lemon yellow color this time. Lemon yellow. Then I'm gonna mix some of the any brown color that is in the palette to give some light, which means I'm making some other layers on top of what I just did. That you're gonna bring some yellow color back to that petal parts. Okay. Now to the yellow. So the parts that I'm missing from the sketch, I'm gonna mix a little bit of green color, you know, green color. Okay, and then what now is that this is out of the focus, so I'm going to finish up by doing some of the, you know, time lapse in the painting now from now on, so that you can understand how it's gonna go towards the end of the painting. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I just showed you some of the blurry parts and you're gonna be able to see it towards the end of the painting more. Okay, thank you guys.